Hey, Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, if you have been paying attention to the news, you see that we in that time right now. You know what I'm saying? We've been in that time for a few years right now, but now it's getting closer and closer, and the scripture saith, at the end it shall speak. You know, so now it's showing itself. So I'm gonna just, before that the whole situation with Trump and the Greenland thing, and also the Iran, because he was talking about going into Iran, but he kind of backed off of it afterward. But still, the plan is already that they're going to go into Iran, and that's going to start up the World War III. But before that, remember, we still need to go to a period where that mark of the beast is going to be implemented, which is the RFID chip, and they're going to force people to take it, and if you don't take it, they're going to lop your head off, right? So let me hit a few scriptures here. Matthew 26 verse 39. It says, because we in the time right now, so you might have a few Jacob descendants that's a little bit weaker and stuff like that. That's why you need to be helping them. Just like John said, to the weak I became as weak. To the ones that are without law, I do as if I am without law, but not being without law to the Lord Yahawashi, but under the grace of the Lord Yahweh. Not being without law to the Most High, but under the grace of the Lord Yahawashi. I'm still under the law, right? So, but that doesn't mean that Paul was eating pork just because the rest of them were not following the scriptures. No, he was not. He wasn't on their neck all the time for the new ones that came in. Now, and he said to the Jews, I'm like the Jews. To the Jews, I am as a Jew. So the ones that do know this truth, he's on your neck. And he was very feared concerning the scriptures. He was mighty and he was scary to people. His scriptures was weighty and heavy. Let me get there real quick. Oh, damn. Right, because I got it right here. So it says here, 2 Corinthians 10, verse 10. It says, for his letters, say they, are weighty and powerful, but his body his body presence is weak, and his speech contemptible. That contemptible is you know, contempt. It's here comes the new contender and stuff like that. It's battling. You know, it's kind of fighty to where people, you know, might have a problem with it and stuff like that. Let me look up the word contendable. Despicable, basically. Detestable. They hated it. When Paul was talking, they didn't like it. Hateful. Contempt. The feeling that a person or a thing is basically beneath them or something like that. But that's not what it goes into. Well, the word goes into that, but that's not what it means concerning Paul. It means that they hated it. You know, he coming to chain check them and stuff like that, right? They didn't like that. So going back to where was it? Right, so Matthew 29 and 39. Sorry, Matthew 26, 39. So it says right here, and he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me, right? Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. So what did the Lord Yahawashi do? He got weak in that moment in time, for 3 times even. He prayed, just like how Paul prayed 3 times for the thorn that was in his flesh. That's why it says that Paul was weak, because I just read to you in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 10, it says that Paul was weak in body. When they saw him, they was like, huh? Who is this? Who is this man writing all these mighty scriptures full of power and authority? Look at him. He doesn't look that strong to me. You know, he was a sickly man. Paul was a sickly man. Anyway, he had a thorn in his flesh, and it is not described what that actually specifically was. But we know that he was a man that when you look at him, you'd be like, oh, he's weak in presence, but mighty in deeds and mighty in scriptures. If you read the rest of the chapter, you will see that. Right, so it says right here, Matthew 26:40. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what could ye not what? So he asked them, what? Could ye not watch me 1 hour? Because he was sleepy, man. So that shows you that the body the mind is willing, but the body is weak. Going on, verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Yeah, a lot of temptation is going to come into your mind, man. You know, we in a time of a lot of temptation nowadays. You know what I'm saying? You will have multiple temptations. Either it be women, money, or just seeking out for fame and glory, self-glorying pleasures and stuff like that, or predominantly for the men that believe in His truth and don't really focus on the carnal type of things. Them entities are gonna come into your head, man, and they're very powerful, man. They're here to persuade you, just like how you are here to persuade the Jacob descendants from stop following Esau and stuff like that, and these other heathen nations, their beliefs, their doctrines, and bring them back to the doctrine of Yahawashi. Yeah, just like how you persuade men, those entities are also here to persuade men unto destruction. You know? Right, so 42. Matthew 26:42. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O Father, if this cup, which that cup is talking about the pain that he was going to go through, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. So he asked the second time, can we do this another way? Verse 43. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Basically, if it is thy will, let this cup pass from me, and we can do it another way. So I don't want to actually do it, but according to thy will, I'll do it. And if thou wants to, I'll do it another way. And if not, then I still got to do it the same way as I was told to do. So that shows you, even in the moment of time, the Lord Yahawashi got a little bit weak, like, man, I don't want to go through that. So that should make us think of 2nd Ezra chapter 7, where it speaks of that man that wants to get the inheritance. Well, that he got an inheritance of his forefather, which is this kingdom. Is metaphorically talking about this kingdom. He got the inheritance of the forefathers, but of his fathers and stuff like that. But now he has to cross a dangerous path in order to get to that palace or castle or mansion, whatever you want to call it. And there's nothing but death on the way, man. You know, there's the only thing you have is a buckler and a shield. And those are the scriptures, which is good enough. But Yahawashi said, take heed that no man take thy crown. And that also goes for entities in your head. You know, if you succumb to them, take heed that the entity doesn't brainwash you to make you fall apart this truth, because that's a very, very serious thing, man. It's a very scary thing too. You know, many greater ones have done it before. You know, men that was in this truth know miles and miles of scriptures, rap sheet long, of deeds that they had done, great deeds. But in the end, just all that just to fall off. So yeah, it is a scary thing, man. And this new year started out with a bang. You know, just like I think it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago, where they assassinated the general of Iran's military. or some kind of high elite guy in their military and stuff like that. So they assassinated him. America did that to Iran. So now they're beginning off the new year with taking over Venezuela. You know? Anyway, so it says right here, verse 45, then cometh he to the disciples and saith unto them, sleep on and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Right. But anyway, I can stop with that one. And then then going to, oh yeah, I got a few articles. Let me get the few articles. The reason I gave that is because, you know, we in a time right now, and if you ever in your mind started to doubt, or because the Lord does say he don't like doubters and stuff like that, you're gonna get in this flesh, and the flesh is gonna make you, oh man, I don't know. So therefore you need others around you, or you need a person, or you need somebody just to tell you this truth in order to comfort yourself, man. Comfort one another with these words, which is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and also chapter 5, both of them. Chapter 4 is the last verse, and then chapter 5, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 is, I don't know which verse, but it's in there. But okay, so now I'm gonna go to the world events that's going on right now. That's going on right now, which is, I'm gonna put all the articles in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Okay, so it says right here. Now this is a news clip, right? And I don't know if you can read it, but I'll read it for you. Like I said, I'm gonna put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Donald Trump warns of strong actions if Iran executes protesters, because a few days ago Iran was reported, I don't know, they're lying, they're most likely lying. They said they murdered 2,500 protesters. There was most likely all of them government agents of America, because that's how they do. They start getting people in the land that are poorer, you know, or not doing that good, and then they offer them money, and they will fight against their government, man. They did it all over the place, man. Esau is known for that. He's known for having infiltrators. You remember this story? I don't know if you know, but it was let me write it down so you could check it out for yourself. There, in the description box. So there's a story, not a story. I'm telling you what he said before they killed him. Right on camera, they killed him, by the way, and you can see that footage too. Wait, let me see here. Afghan. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in the description box. It was an Afghani guy, right? He told on his people. He turned on his people, and then he came to live in America. He explains everything right on camera, and then he came to live in America, and then they started, after the war and stuff like that, they started treating him like shit, because he was telling them, like, when the cops pulled him over, he was telling them, what the fuck do you? He was very agitated. He was very irritated, and he had a gun on him too. Yeah. But anyway, so he was complaining, like, what the fuck you stopping me, you bugging me, you bothering me, you don't take care of me after all the things I did for you. I'm now wanted in Afghanistan. I can't go back to my own country, so I'm stranded here. All that damn, my kids is here. I don't have no money, nothing, you know. You don't want to give me work. All these type of things, all these crazy things. He said it all on camera. Like I said, I'm gonna put the link in the description box. And then he was complaining, talking about Esau, racist, you full of hate. And then I was laughing, nodding my head like, oh, you found out. You found out that they hate your guts. They just used you to infiltrate into Afghanistan and then get your own people killed and smoked and killed, whatever. And now, you know, overturn their government and stuff like, and now they shit on you. Oh man, I found that beautiful. But anyway, he then therefore got into an argument with the police, and they started calling more cops. And before you know it, he was like, yo, fuck y'all, man. He pulled his gun and started shooting at them. Bum, bum. And then, of course, they all lit him up. But that shows you what Esau's doing. He's going to these countries, and he has men of those countries themselves that have been to America, have tasted the so-called freedom of America. And then he uses them to go and tell them, like, hey, your country is shit. And then that person from America that integrated or immigrated, whatever, then goes back to his own country and then starts planting seeds in the ears of the common people. Most of the time, the people that are fed up and angry with the government, it's just like if you go to America right now and you would pay all the people that are against Trump and his system, the government system, what they set up there. If you was to pay them, they would go out there and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you paid them, and they're already against Trump anyway. So it's like a double whammy. You know what I'm saying? As they say, they get paid, plus they get to do what they want. It's a hobby. So that's exactly what they've been doing in these other countries. So don't be surprised if they do that with Iran too. You got people from Iran, or people from Iran, born and grown up in America, and then they get indoctrinated by Esau. Simple as that. Anyway, so that one is about to happen. But then there's another article that says, like I said, I'm gonna put the link in the description box. So it says right here, there's another article. Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, the article says, Trump says Iran has told him killing has stopped as he pulls back from strike threats, actually. Let me read it again. Trump says Iran has told him, so he says he's been talking to the guy from Iran. Killing has stopped as he pulls back from strike threats. So he was threatened to strike them if they kept on killing these protesters. But let me see if I can find an article where it says like 2,500. If I can't find it here, I'm gonna put the link in the description box anyway. So it says right here. It says right here. So Iran responded with another article, with another retaliation comment or whatever. It says here, Iran warns retaliation if Trump strikes. U.S. withdraws some personals from bases. They have withdrawn some personas, whatever they call it. People that work there, from the U.S. bases around Iran, because they're looking to smoke them. Also, the same thing in Venezuela. You have certain gangs in Venezuela that are trying to kill Americans because of the thing that Trump did. So you have Americans living in Venezuela, and they're trying to kill him because they're trying to retaliate for what they did to what they did to their president. Right. Well, so I have another article here. Again, this is it again. I'm gonna just read the head title so you know where it's going toward. And all of this is mentioned in the book of Ezekiel chapter 38. All these wars and rumors of wars and stuff like that. What's gonna happen? If they invade Iran, then it's gonna be World War III. So we got our eye open on that, because they've been talking about going into Iran since before they went into Afghanistan, since before the 9/11 thing. So they've been talking about it a long time. They've been talking about it a very long time. Since the 90s, they've been talking about it. So it says right here, Trump is pledging to rescue protesters in Iran. He has selective view of the sanctity of protests. Damn, I can't. Was it $2? Wait. Wait, let me see. Yeah. I just looked up another article. So it says here, death toll from protest crackdown in Iran, 2,500 activists say. So they say it's like 2,500 people got smoked by the government, which is 2,571 got smoked by the government. Yeah, it should flow out my mouth. got the smoke by the government.
And I hope you can show me.
Anyway, so it got smoked by the government. So
Cigarette?
no, I don't smoke. By the government and stuff like that. So now he wants to invade Iran, but he said also, let me see something.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
No, man, thanks.
Tea?
No,
Nothing.
no, man, thanks.
Bless you.
It's you too, man. All right. So it says here, still looking for it. Where that? Sorry. Okay, I already read it before I was supposed to read it. So it says right here, Trump says Iran has told him killing has stopped as he pulls back from strike threats. So he was threatening him, and you know, that's why I like it, because he needs to be in the charge, so-called charge, because he's one of them bold devils. You know, he like to start shit. And I'll put also another link in the description box so you can check that out to see the things that he says and does. It's funny as hell. You know, people hate his guts, but that's the definition of an American Edomite, of just Edomites, but that's the definition of America itself. Boldness and pride. So now I'm gonna tackle the other articles, but I'm trying to keep it short because I want to get into the scriptures. But because the articles is gonna lead toward the scriptures, right? So it says right here. I typed in Trump just said. What did I type in? Sorry. Trump just said. Well, let me read it for you. I don't need to tell you what I typed in. I'll read the thing that he said. So it says here, which I also leave in the description box. Trump said that while he is a big fan of Denmark, and I got the video of this, so it's not just reading or article. I actually have the video of it, and I'll put that link in the description box. So it says here, Trump said that while he is a big fan of Denmark, the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. That's what he said. That's what he said. It's funny as hell. Let me read it again for you because you might not have understood what I just said. But anyway, where is it? Again, it was on. So it says right here. So it says right here. Trump, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. So other quote of that same article is, I would like to make a deal, you know, the easy way. But if we don't do this the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. Trump said at the White House. And again, I have that footage also where he says that. Oh man. And the other one is, again, Trump said that while he is a big fan of Denmark, funny because Denmark is the ones are the people that actually landed in Finland, Greenland, and I'll show you a few pictures of the people of Greenland before Esau came there. They was dark as hell, man. I looked at it, I was like, is that? Needed to adjust the color on the camera, but I was like, no, that's them. You know. So it says right here, he said, while he is a big fan of Denmark, the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. That's what he said. Did you get that, man? Did you get that? That's the same thing that they did in America with the natives there. They landed with a boat there about 500 years ago. 1492, and then since then it was theirs. Well, that's the same thing that he now actually says to Denmark, that just because you landed there 500 years ago doesn't make the land yours. This is crazy. That's why hey man, yeah man, he really needs to be in office, man. He's really gonna jumpstart this whole war. And all the enemies of America shall hate the whore. Okay, let me speed it up. Now it says right here. So that's concerning Greenland, right? Let me see. So Iran, he wants to go up in there. And Greenland, he says basically definitely he's going to go up in there. And all the European nations, they angry at that. So the Most High is going to cause it to where he's going to fight against them. And, it's going to start frictions. They're going to start frictions and stuff like that. Okay, so let me read this one. European military personnel arrive in Greenland as Trump says U.S. needs island. So they arrived there about 15 January, and it is this article was published 15 January, so it wasn't 15 January. It was maybe 14 or something. And today is 17 January, so that's 2 days ago that it was published. But I think they were there maybe like 14 or 13 January. And yeah, so again, European military personnel arrive in Greenland as Trump says U.S. needs island. Right, let me speed up through the articles because it's kind of a lot. And this is also what he's doing. Trump threatens new tariffs on countries opposed to Greenland takeover. So he's really about that, right? And a lot of European countries, they're not down with that, So they want to, they want to actually defend Greenland, and it's going to get up in some. Hey, it's going to be a big fight, man. And we waiting for that day because this is what the scriptures has been telling us that's going to happen. America is going to cause Europe to end and all of their allies to fight against them. So it says another article where it says Trump considers punishing countries with tariffs if they don't back U.S. takeover of Greenland. Like I said, I'm preparing, I'm reading all these, I'm reading the subtitles. I'm not reading the articles. Anyway. Damn it. So it says right here. Yeah. I don't need to read that. I'll just put that in the link in the description box. Like I said, this is the video. I have more. Trump says U.S. will acquire Greenland whether they like it or not. So that's going to be, I hope it's going to be a war. Just like how he jumped up in Venezuela. And yeah. Well, I don't think I need to read all these headlines of these articles and stuff like that. I'll just put it in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. So now, I'm going to go up in these scriptures, Yahawashi, to show you that these are the times that we have been waiting for. Though it tarry, wait for it. It shall surely come, it will not tarry. Like I said, we're in that time right now. And like the scriptures say it and showeth, we are in that time. So, let me see. Let me get this one. Revelation 17 and Matthew 24. Revelation 17. Matthew 24. Yeah, okay. Right, so Revelation 17. Revelation 17, it says here, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And that beast is talking about NATO. And that whore that sitteth upon the beast, that whore is talking about America. That beautiful whore that everybody wants to sleep with. But it's a whore. Think about it. So it says 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they are... and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. They are chosen because many are called but few are chosen, and faithful is because many will lose their faith. That's also, a good. Well, that's not the reason I read it, but it's a good precept for it concerning the book of Matthew 26 in the beginning when I was talking about that this faith. You need to keep this faith, man, because there's gonna come entities in your head, just thoughts, man. You might be thinking of I don't know, man, food or something, busy with food cooking. All of a sudden you get in your head like, you know what? Why don't you just stop teaching? Hey, what the fuck? What was that? Those are spirits, man. And you can hear them fresh and clean. You know when you can hear them too? I hear them. Is when on the Passover, right? No, sorry. The Day of Atonement. That when you are fasting, right? All of a sudden you hear stuff like, hey, man, I hear that shit, man. I hear like, hey, hey, see that drink over there? It looks good, right? What you drinking, man? You thirsty? Stuff like that. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? As soon as that day is over, I hear nothing. I'm looking for it. Ain't hearing nothing. You know how many days I can go without drinking or eating whatever? Well, not eating. And also not drinking, but I mean like very long. I can do very long. Normally when I'm not doing anything. But as soon as you start doing a fasting for Yahawashi and the prayers, all of a sudden you get hungry, thirsty. You're walking beside a glass of water or a bottle. Let's say you just see a bottle or something like that on the street. All of a sudden you'd be like, hey, I want to drink it. I'd be like, no, man, this makes no sense. Well, that should show you that you are under attack by entities, man. They're just waiting for you to slip up, mess up, make a mistake, and all that type of stuff, all that juicy stuff. They just want to make you fall, and that is their mission. That's like their job. The description of their job should say, trying to make you fall. That's the description of their job. Tripping you. That's their job, to make you fall. Right? So it says right here, sorry. Verse 15. So Revelation 17:15. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are people, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. So those waters was talking about people. And the beasts were talking about kingdoms. Oh yeah, you can get that. I didn't think about that. You can get that here in the book of Daniel 2, where the beasts are talking about kingdoms. I think it's in Revelation 17 also. Wait a minute. Was it Daniel 4, 2, or 7? It was 7. So, okay. So it says right here, Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. It says, Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. So let me read it again. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread upon it, or it shall tread it down, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And what is that fourth beast? That goes into democracy, because it is like no other kingdom before it. Back in the days, it was the hierarchies that, it's still a hierarchy, but let me say it different. So all the kingdoms before the Greek Empire, I think the Romans, yeah. All the kingdoms before that, they actually did stuff with the son of the king is going to rule after him. It was a monarchy, not hierarchy. Sorry, man. Monarchy, which is a family thing. It would be a family-run country. The Netherlands is that too, but they make people think like they're voting, which is ingenious in itself. Make them think. And same thing with England. That's why everybody knows that England has a queen. And all these other countries have kings and queens, but they in the background, you know, pulling strings and stuff like that. But they have not been given much power in the eyes of the people. They haven't been given much power in the eyes of the people. But behind the scenes, they do have a lot of power, and they do have a lot of things to say, because you can't just do anything and everything that you want in their kingdom. That's why they call the king and the queens of Europe individual countries. They have more sayings than they would like for you to get or know, because you think that you live in a democratic land. In the beginning, it was so, because that's why you had a lot of wars between them, because the voting system was actually really real until it started to be not. Do you think that you can come into, like, let's say a fresh Edomite is being born in the land right now, and then he decides to go up in parliament, and then he comes with the will of the people into that parliament where they have the will of the elite and the interests of their money and stuff like that, of the elite or something, you know? Do you think that he will then therefore be able to come in the parliament and just just derail them? He's gonna turn into JFK, because they don't want that. You know? They're gonna have his name, and then they're gonna glorify him. They're gonna give him a great star on the ground or something like that. Have his name in all neon lights. You know, because that's what they're about. They're about making you fantasize about something which is not the truth. Like flying reindeers, for example. And people will gobble it up because they're stupid. I have to use that word. I think it's a funny word too. Stupid. Hey, stupid. It's a funny word, actually. Hey, stupid. Okay, so now going back to Revelation. So the kingdoms, the beasts are talking about kingdoms, right? Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 shows you that. Okay, so now going back to Revelation chapter, 17, verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. So, the waters is talking about people. The beasts are talking about kingdoms. So, that whore is also talking about, it's talking about America, but it's symbolically for a woman. I'm going to give you an example. Everybody and their mama love America. A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't want to go live there, especially nowadays. Now, if you chase that back to the 90s, a lot of people did want to go live in America because they saw that little fantasy dream. They saw the movies, you know what I'm saying? They saw all these so-called beautiful things. They saw Disney. So they really thought themselves to go over there. But now it's a paradise for women. It always was, but now it's even more, you know? Because I've seen so many videos, man, that women that come from these other nations that go to America, they backstab the men that brought them there. Even until this day in 2026. Well, the last one I saw was in 2025. But still, it was funny as hell. You had this Jake go over there, and I think Zimbabwe, he got himself a Hamite woman. And then the woman birthed like 2 of his children or something like that. And then the woman was brought from there to America. As soon as she get that green card, she ditched the kids. I ain't playing. She ditched their kids and then married an Edomite. Oh. And she was taking pictures in a golf cart. You know? On a golf court thing. In the cart also. So she was in a golf cart. Taking a picture also on golf courts, you know? Where they play the golf on the pasture and stuff like that. So she was doing that. Hella funny. But that shows you like Jake is trying to get... Esau been a passport dude since forever. I always heard stories about it here in the 90s that they used to go to Thailand and all these places to find women, you know? And that was when the Edomite females were just basically just listening to them and stuff like that. So they was always going there, but they always loved to go there for them little boys. I do know that. Because another story is, which is a fact, so you have a lot of prostitution streets over there in Thailand and Vietnam and stuff like that. If you are an Edomite, then them little boys will follow you around when you go into those streets. But if you are like a so-called black man, then the women will follow you around because they want their money. Don't think they like it. Oh man, I must be, you know, big and stuff like that. No. They see money. They see money. But anyway, so now going back to Revelation 17, which is verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. That's what's happening right now. Because they hating America. All these other beasts, this big beast. Let me read it again. So it says right here, and the 10 horns. The 10 horns is talking about, where did I read that? The 10 horns is talking, okay. So Revelation chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. Right? So now I'm going to jump to Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which is talking about the 10 kings. And that beast is talking about that great empire that they have, NATO. Right? So it says here, these shall hate the whore, and shall burn her with, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, which is that nuclear fire that's going to come. And it's going to eat away their flesh. Why? If you have ever seen the after effect of a nuclear bomb, if you've seen the pictures and the videos and footage and stuff like that, you will see that people are eaten away. Your bones even are eaten away, man. You know, you will disintegrate if you're close. I had a picture, I just downloaded it 2 days ago. I saved it, but it's not on my phone. I was just doing stuff. So, but I looked at it, and then they made, it was a movie. No. Yeah, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I got it. It was a movie. But I took a picture. So in the movie, they showed the picture, right? And they showed the radiance of the, what was the movie again? I think it was an alien movie or something like that, man. It was an alien movie, but I forgot which one it was. Damn it. I don't know. It was alien movie. I never seen those movies. It was a girl put me on it. I'm not into that shit. But I looked at it and I was like, well, okay. Let me see what type of things that's going on in the movie. It's talking about DNA research. It's talking about making them so stronger, making them live longer, and that goes hand in hand with the videos that I always have been making concerning what Esau is doing with the superhero vaccine, with the designer babies. And that article was like in 2018, 2017, 2019, and you never heard about it ever again. And then in 2001, they talked about the cloned Eve, and in 1997, they was talking about the sheep named Dolly that they cloned. Never heard anything about it afterwards, because they're not here to tell you, they're here to tell each other. That's how they actually, give signs toward each other, like, yeah, we're ready, we done it. And then they make a public announcement to surprise one another. Surprise one another. Anyway, so they shall burn their whore, and let me read it again. 17 now. Okay, let me read 16 again. And the 10 horns, which so Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Because they're gonna hate the whore, man. The things that the whore is doing. Look, what is America doing right now? They're trying to get into Greenland. So Europe already has a troop stationed there, because they be like, yo, if you touch them, we're gonna have a problem. But it's good. Let the conflict start within. Satan's house is divided against one another. In America, they divided as shit. Because they can't get together. Which is funny as hell. Think about it. Especially that thing that happened to that Edomite female. Of her. I think her name is Renee Good, something like that. Man, she got smoked like as if she was a Jacob descendant, man. He lopped her in her face with them bullets. Bow, 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 bow. He shot her like 2 times in the face, man. He wasn't playing. He was angry that day. He's like, you dare go away? Pop, pop. He got her, man. Shot her in the face. She died like a black woman. Actually like a so-called black man. But anyway, so watch it. Right, let me go on, sorry. Right. So it says right here, Revelation 17:17. For the Most High had put in their hearts to fulfill his will. That's what's happening right now. The Most High is putting in their hearts, in their minds, to fulfill his will. He wants them to go against Babylon the Great. He wants them to go against them. He's putting that spirit on Trumpy boy, and then he's putting that spirit also on the people in Europe to fight against each other. You know where you can get this that happened to us? 1 Kings chapter 12. 1 Kings chapter 11 and 1 Kings, well, actually 12. Well, 11 is good too for examples of when King Solomon started to sin, then the Most High raised up an enemy toward him, and that enemy stayed his whole life. It says that Solomon had 40 years peace, yeah, but he had a lot of conflict within. Read 1 Kings chapter 11. You will see like, oh shit, I didn't know that. But it says it right there. Let me get it for you. He had conflicts his entire life after he started to sin. So in 1 Kings chapter 11 verse